Okay, one more. Well, actually, two. All right. Okay, I'm back. Hi guys. How's it going? I think we're a little bit closer to the final nail in the Kennedy era's coffin. Yes, I am wearing this and whatever. Wow. And all I can say is wow, because um, when I don't know how to feel right now, the fact that Bob Iger in 2021, before he gave Bob Chapek the keys to the kingdom, kind of, sort of, he didn't really leave, so it really didn't happen. Um, uh, he had said to Kennedy, no, it's cutting out. Well, I can't do anything about it. Pull closer, I guess. Anyway, I can't, I'm not going to re-upload this. So this is what you get. I have my phone. That's my studio. Okay. Anyway, in and out. Well, I can't do anything about it, Jonathan. Okay. So anyway, yesterday, Deadline and Variety posted a story that Adam Driver basically said Kennedy had called him and said, would you like to come in and talk about doing more Star Wars? And he had an idea of pitching an idea with Steven Soderbergh, of all people, to the Disney company. And they were not interested. It was basically the hunt for Ben Solo. Ugh. Who wants to fucking see that? I don't want to see that. And Bob Iger at the time, because he was the boss, and Alan Bergman were like, fuck no. Now, I'm going to preface this with something I found out today. That apparently at the Disney parks, they are putting all of Kylo Ren's, they have static figures, into mass packaging with others. Okay, and I don't know what else to say, but they can't sell his figures either. And I was told by people who are smarter than I am that apparently his figures, people loved him. No, we didn't. We didn't love him. He's a fucking douchebag. I mean, what is there to love about a character raised to be a lead who acts like an asshole and murders his father for absolutely no fucking reason? Driver looked at this as an idea of explaining Kylo Ren, because I think Driver knew that people hated the character because of what he did to Han Solo. And, Star Wars money's good. You want to do it. And again, there was so little in the movies, because the movies all sucked, all three of them, that we really didn't get a reason why Han did this and Leia did that, and why Ben turned into a fucking dickhead, and why he apparently burnt down Luke's school. Why? I don't care. No one cares. All right. And the lack of merchandise being made since the sequel trilogy ended testifies to that. No one gives a shit. All right. So Adam Driver goes in and says he and Steven Soderbergh go in and pitch this thing, and Iger and Bergman said, no, nix, nah, hey, K-Cross, how you doing? And first off, the Black Pills are having a meltdown because why? All right, Den of Nerds is pissed off because why? When he hates Kathleen Kennedy, now he's turned his moronic, meltdown, idiotic bullshit onto Bob Iger for making the right business decision. Um, you know, Uh, d- all right. Cross, you want to kick this guy off the team? Thanks. Um, anyway, it's like, what? And I was literally like, why are, and that was Den of Nerds, right? That was Den of Nerds. And, uh, I'm, what the fuck? Because he supposedly hates Kathleen Kennedy like the rest of us. And, you know, but he has the consistency of separated cream. All right. That's not consistent. Anyway, so he freaked out. He was having a meltdown. And now, let's see. Eckhart's Ladder, Blue Pill, freaking out because they're not getting dear, beautiful Kyle Rodby, what our bed. I can't imagine what the Raylos are doing tonight. I cannot imagine what they're doing. I'm sure they're all trying to have seances with Carrie Fisher so she can tell them something, whatever demon shows up to pretend it's Carrie Fisher. I'm like, you know, I haven't seen anything because I don't go. I mean, they left when, oh God, what was that? Their place that they used to go to decided to have X-rated shit back on it. They all went there. Tumblr. I did not go through Blue Sky, but I know for a fact that Star Wars Explained, and I love this. I love this. Is pissed off. Eckhart's Ladder was complaining. I don't know what Retney's Holocron's doing, but they're all basically pissed off. Here's the thing I want you. It's okay. I mean, I heard that the sound is going in and out, so I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, it just points to Kennedy leaving, right? Kennedy going. Let's go to the black pills. So I guess they were all having gigantic, screaming fits. And, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Whatever. What are you gonna do when she's gone? Bob Iger's leaving too. So, and it's really interesting to me watching all this because do you remember? Oh, the cringe. I know. It's Pablo. He's probably on his way out too. Hey, karma's a bitch. You know, um, this is what they deserve. The black pills, the, the nerdrotics, the Ryan Canals, the Star Wars gals, the idiots, gamer dudes who, whatever, making money on super chats and shit. What are you going to yell at now? You sell yourselves as Star Wars fans, at least some of you, but you're not. You're not. You're a fan of hearing your own voice blather on, whatever. And, I'm literally like, I'm perfectly happy watching them cry and render their garments. What I want to see is Disney come out with a press release saying that either on October 31st, which would be ironic as it's Halloween, or January 1st, Kathleen Kennedy will be officially stepping down. Now, according to Sparrow, they said that she's been gone, all right? And then you got Jeff Snyder basically saying she's been a lame duck, that somebody else is already running the company. Do I have to tell you who it is? We all know who it is. One guy's name's John, the other guy's name's Dave, and they have a direct line to George Lucas, who has been, I don't know what Theory was doing. But dude, do you read between the lines? I mean, I haven't read the Wall Street Journal article magazine. I think Cross has been looking to get the article, but he didn't say anything that shocked me. You know? He didn't say anything. You know, and it's like, dude, you've been on the sets of The Mandalorian, and I'm pretty sure Ahsoka. I'm pretty sure he was on the set of Mando and Grogu. You know, the thing about it is, what he should have said was, I got the museum. That's my thing I'm doing right now. Star Wars has a gallery. It's gallery, 30? I can't remember what gallery it is. It's big, because it had to be here. You know, Star Wars is owned by Disney, but I do get called for advice quite regularly. And that's what should happen. That's what he should have said, because that's what's happening. But, you know, and I'm going to say this. We don't know how the interview is edited, right? We don't. So it's like, and the Wall Street Journal is up there right now with the lining bird cages, as far as I'm concerned. There you go. All right, there you go. Anyway, so, you know, Adam Driver came out and said, I feel comfortable now and that I can say this. I did pitch at Kennedy's behalf a Star Wars movie to Bob Iger with Steven Soderbergh about hunting for Ben Solo. And Iger said, not just no, but fuck no. Not Den of Nerds or anybody else's spot to start screaming. Why? Ben Solo doesn't sell merchandise. Ben Solo is not a popular character. When you're saying, we have the most popular character on a sequel trilogy, that's a pretty fucking low bar, don't you think? It's a low fucking bar. It basically is meaningless. Doesn't mean anything. So, you know, I mean, we're all just sitting here going, well, damn. And watching the meltdown. I mean, you know, Alex Damon going, it's just so frustrating. Do you honestly look at the financial statements? Do you honestly understand they're not selling merch? To the point, Target took down its Star Wars display and replaced it with Stranger Things, which I ain't got no use for. But anyway, even though I do like Millie Bobby Brown, I'm just like, do you not understand? He doesn't sell merchandise. No one would go see this. You might as well be throwing good money after bad after all this shit. Kennedy still had to get Dial of Destiny done, and we know how badly she did that. Okay? So it's like, well, yeah, I mean, Cross is right. My thing is, Adam, I would have more empathy for you had your character not done what he did. You could turn to the dark side, but the daddy hate porn that was created that you embraced is bullshit. How come it took you 4 months to figure out if you really wanted to play the role? And then you come back and say, I loved being in Star Wars. I wanted to make another one. Ugh. This is bullshit. Somebody is full of shit. He comes out and says what he says, and I'm gonna say this. Disney told him, yes, now you can talk about the failed Ben Solo project. All right, because she's on her fucking way out. And this is a signal that she's on her way out. And notice the Rey movie wasn't even mentioned. Not mentioned. Not once. So I want to go back to the blue pills. So Alex and Molly are in mourning, and they deserve it. Eckhart's ladder had a stroke. I can't wait to see what Retney's holocron did. And do you guys remember Jason Ward? Do you remember him making Star Wars.net? That guy has not made a Star Wars video in 2 years. So I think he already knew a long time ago that, and I think he was told Kennedy's gone, because 2023 is when we started talking about that, right? So he hasn't said a word. And this is me. We got Black Pills crying because they're not getting a Ben Solo movie. And they all hated the character, partly because Raylo and what he did. And we've got Blue Pills crying because they want to beat off in the corner to daddy hate porn or some shit like that. And I'm like going, I'm loving all of this. I am loving the meltdown across the fucking board. You know, and to the Raylos, boo fucking who? You got people banned off of Twitter. You got, you bullied people. You would not listen to anybody with a rational thought. And we're all supposed to feel bad for you now? Here's one, here's two. There you go. Why? Because this is what you get for all the bullshit you pulled between 2016 and 2020. All right, and I honestly, I mean it. I'm literally like, this was coming. And look, Cross can attest, I saw it coming. Because it couldn't sell movie tickets. Because no one wanted to buy the merchandise. You can love anything. I'm sure there are people out there who loved that movie, The Room, which is regarded as the worst movie ever made. It still was the worst movie ever made. I mean, there are shitty movies that I like. You know, why? Just because, you know, but it doesn't take away the fact it's a shitty movie. And then other people just were like, whatever, you know? And really, this is, I'm going to borrow a line from the human garbage disposal, Barack Obama. We could use this as a teachable moment. Hi, Kojak. As a teachable moment. Just because you liked something and were to the point where you were stalking the actor playing the character, that you wanted his wife and his child to die, and then you also wanted the girl in the scenario, her husband to die, so he, the actor, and she, the actress, could be together. Those are the Davers. What did you expect was going to happen? Because you drove everybody as far away from this garbage as we possibly could get. You know, And, I gotta say, you caused this. You made it so people like me wouldn't even give the character of Ben Solo a chance. Because we were so turned off at the violence and the disgusting callousness with which the death of his father by his hand was handled. I've seen way too many girls with their nostrils, what do they call that? The septum piercing, saying, oh, it was a beautiful death. There is no such thing. There's none. None. Okay? Especially when some spoiled brat, Antifa type, does that to his father. Because that's exactly what Kyle Ron was. Antifa. And there you go. And those are the kinds of people who would act like they loved it or something. So, here you go. We are, I'm watching this. I got, nothing to complain about. Nothing to, I've got my glass of Pinot Noir. I'm happy. I don't know what else to expect. I know I did not expect to see this. Because it didn't occur to me that the first thing, this is what I think happened. Kennedy decided in order to try to save her sequel trilogy, she'd go to the one character that maybe would get people to come to the theaters. And that would be the character played by Adam Driver. And she calls him and says, I want to talk to you. And he's already been talking, they had to be talking to Steven Soderbergh already. So he then gets a chance to pitch it to Iger and Bergman. I'm sure Soderbergh and Kennedy were there, and they said, not just no, but fuck no. And they didn't show them the lack of merchandise being sold, and it's like, this is where I think the Ray movie was born. And this is what I think Kennedy thought. Well, if they don't want to make a Kyle Ron movie, maybe they'll want a Ray movie. And again, the new CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek, said, not but no, but fuck no. And she probably pitched it at the same time she pitched The Acolyte. So she then pulls the next stunt, dragging everybody who are part of either project or pretending to be part of either project, Stephen Knight and Charmin Obai-Chinoy, and get them to come to Star Wars Celebration to make it look like it's real. And Iger went, what the fuck? So then, as we're waiting for Dial of Destiny to premiere at Cannes, Willow's taken off of Disney Plus, and the Star Wars hotel, her baby, is shut down. The last would be in August. Right? So we have been, I think, in a moment like in suspended animation, waiting for something to happen. And now I think with this revelation, because I didn't, Cross, did you actually see this coming? Because I sure as fuck didn't. And Sparrow, they didn't say anything about it. Nothing. So I think this was a knife to Kennedy telling her she's gone. Because again, she is thrown under the bus in the article, not Bob Iger. Bob Iger's like, I'm trying to protect my company. Why would we spend what would be $300 million or more on something nobody is going to go to? on a guy that can't put butts in seats. We're doing a Ben Solo movie. Why? Why? And there you go. You know, I mean, and Driver saying Lucasfilm was really excited about it. Translated, yeah, it would. I mean, you know, you're looking at it going, you would have to be a blind, deaf moron not to see that that idea was the stupidest idea anybody's ever come up with. And I don't think, I'm going to say this, Adam Driver did not want to do another Star Wars, but she dangled money in front of his face, right? Now, I am going to posit this with this. Harrison Ford said he felt bad for Adam. This is me. Then why were you so keen to have him kill your character? Now, if he hadn't, and it turned to the light side when all that whatever's going to happen happened, because it happened, you could have maybe saved it. Put some background on what the fuck was actually going on. But no, you didn't. They didn't. And George is right. George is right. They don't know what they're doing. Disney does not know what they're doing. And I'm going to actually be honest. I think Iger knew that the woke shit was leaving. Then. I think he knew it. I think he knew what danger doing a movie with Kylo Ren would be to the cast and characters because of the fucking Raylos. 24-hour security on an actor because he's got a bunch of morbidly obese teenage girls with septum piercings, multicolored hair, and morbidly obese middle-aged cat ladies threatening his family. That's exactly what they would have got. So, and I'll tell you something. You start going through what the Raylos actually thought of Driver after all this shit happened. And it was not good. It was not nice. He was very cold to them. This is me. Why didn't you say anything to them? Why didn't you say, there are millions of people who were disappointed by the sequel trilogy and didn't like my character. And they don't like the Raylo stuff, so why don't you quit it and stop bullying them? But no, he didn't. He didn't try to make peace with the real fans. He just, wouldn't do PR. He never went on, like when they were doing cast interviews with J.J. Abrams at the end. He wasn't in that group. And don't tell me it's scheduling. He made it so he didn't have to. Why? Because he didn't want to. So he's making shit up. He put it out there to look professional. I understand why Harrison Ford said he felt sorry for him. They obviously have some rapport. I just, I want to ask Harrison, the reason why do you know the reason why nobody likes Adam Driver, the real fans, the OG fans, is because of what his character did to Han. And the fact that we were treated like shit and all kinds of asinine stories created by mentally ill, fat pig women got put out there on the internet. And Kathleen Kennedy, instead of saying no to all of it, oh boy, we have Raylo. We can sell tickets if they kiss. And there you go. There you go. That's it. I mean, that's why. That's why nobody likes him. Now, go to Broadway, make some independent movies. Obviously, he sure as hell didn't put asses in seats for Francis Ford Coppola making Megalopolis. And, Coppola's like, he's the best young actor of his generation. No, he's not. Glenn Powell's better. Austin Butler's better. There are tons that are better than him. I can't, but here we are. And watching the Blue Pills meltdown is as good as watching the Democrats meltdown on November 6th at 3:30 in the morning after Trump was declared president of the United States. This is me. You did this to yourselves with your woke, trans rights, LGBTQ plus grooming shit. All this nonsense. No priorities that normal people are concerned with. That's why, again, that's why the sequel trilogy doesn't sell. Because people don't see Star Wars. They see Vice Admiral Gender Studies. They see Kyle Ron, Yep, I think he's right. I think you're right, Cross. It's like nobody wants to see that shit. Stop, dear Democrats, dear leftists, dear progressive wokies. Stop, please stop lecturing. Stop trying to bully us. Stop threatening to kill people. Stop killing people. You're done. It's over. All right, it's fucking over. Anyway, I gotta go. I wanna. The sequel trilogy can't be fixed. It can't. There's nothing you can do to save it. Rian Johnson made sure of that. So no. I mean, it has to be put in its own timeline and forgotten, which I think is exactly what they're doing. You gotta hope Mando and Grogu does good enough so we get Heir of the Empire, right? Now, I've heard great things about Mando and Grogu, that we may see Han and Leia, and that Leia has to go into hiding, which is Heir to the Empire, because she did. And it is as it is. I am a creative person, but I understand money, I think. And it's like, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting it somehow to be popular when it wasn't ever. To me, I'm gonna let you go with this. And I call it The Farce Awakens, was an anomaly. Why? Everybody wanted to see Han Solo again. Everybody wanted to see him and Leia. Everybody wanted to see Luke. Did that resemble anything that the fans wanted? No. Why? Because every time they put the OG characters front and center, the poorly written sequel trilogy characters, Finn, Rey, etc., including Kyle Ren, faded into the background. So they came up with what they came up. Shitty story, inconsistent with the characters, and they're a really shitty movie, which led into an even shittier movie, which led into a shittier movie. And then, of course, with all that going on, we had a shitty Han Solo movie, and he was played by a shitty actor. Then we had a shitty Indiana Jones movie, because Kathleen Kennedy, again, can't fucking just be a producer. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. Do you know why Phoebe Waller-Bridge got that job? Hi, Kim. Because Kathleen Kennedy goes to sleep every night in her London house, looks at a picture of Princess Diana and thinks, I want to be just like you. You know, and that's it. That's it. That's why she got the job. British, skinny, obnoxious, bitchy, Kennedy's ideal avatar. That's why she got the job. That's why Steve, and I know that's why Spielberg left the project, because he was like, I can't make this movie with her. I can't. He already did make a movie with Rachel Zegler and wouldn't even acknowledge Rachel Zegler. All right, so I gotta go. You guys have a good night. I'll see you around the galaxy. Remember, no droids, no bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no sequel trilogy fans, no black pills. All right.